Hello there. I feel honored. Thanks for taking the time to spend your lunch break with Teresa Rensch, the Director of Ed Services in Canoctown Unified, which is located in Lake County, which is in Northern California, about 3 hours north of San Francisco. Let's talk extraordinary leadership. I'm going to presume that you are that extraordinary leader just by the fact that you are taking your lunch break to attend professional learning. Two parts to the extraordinary leader: high impact practices as defined by Vivian Robinson, particularly, and not an exhaustive list, setting a clear vision, establishing clear goals and actions so the staff has the roadmap to that vision, planning and participating in professional learning so the staff can be successful in achieving those goals and realizing that vision, and monitoring and ensuring, not in a bad way, quality first instruction, if you will, again, to realize that deep student learning. Those high impact practices command facilitation and coaching out of a leader. And in addition, almost any interaction or situation also can be enhanced through a highly skilled facilitator and even coach. So that's why I say those two coupled, high impact practices and facilitation and coaching, creates that extraordinary leader and those extraordinary results. I'm leaning on my 25 years of experience in education and having the opportunity in those 25 years to stay current in the research to say that, yeah, 80%, if not more, of our time as leaders, a site administrator, a central office administrator, our interactions, small group, large group, one-on-one, that benefit from the use of facilitation and coaching. And a little bit of Daniel Pink's research, that through that facilitation and coaching, we are then making that situation or that person better than before that interaction. So let's pause and reflect for a minute and just think of yourself, a day in the life of you as a leader, and how many interactions warrant and or were successful because of your facilitation and your coaching. Great. I know this is a little backwards, but now let's go back and define facilitation and coaching, as well as look at some of the facilitation and coaching skill sets. One, a facilitator is somebody who navigates and improves the situation. And for coaching, we're going a little deeper than cognitive coaching, where not only do we become aware of the possibilities and the situation, we draw out through coaching that expertise that lies within a team or a person. And then as a result, we get results. Some of the facilitation skills, right? Planning and preparation. I can tell you from personal experience how many meetings go awry when I'm not as planned, as prepared as I want to be. It's super important. Having that clear purpose, whether it's a vision planning, analyzing data, solving a problem, and then use modeling, just like we want that clarity in the classroom, modeling with an agenda that has clear outcomes. And I go as far as finding a protocol that complements that purpose. For example, when we analyze student data, I will often use here's what, so what, now what. The protocol is not meant to stifle the rich and robust dialogue that we're looking for, but it enhances, complements, if you will, those professional norms that we're looking for in how we interact and operate with each other, as well as it keeps the conversation and the outcome moving forward in the right direction. In terms of building rapport with people, you'll often see a good facilitator like yourself and a high functioning team check in at the start of the meeting. I always used a quick whip around where we gave a set aside or a highlight, professional or personal. And the one time with my staff that I was going to admit that and jump right into the content for time's sake, where they would let me know, pause, time out, Teresa. We need that moment of community and celebration. In terms of coaching, there's some of the skills that I've drawn out for defining coaching skills. It's not an exhaustive list. That active listening, where we're really listening for what's below the surface, what's being said that's not being said in words, if you will. The use of paraphrasing, not the parrot type of old day paraphrasing like I had learned many years ago. What I hear you saying, Teresa, is more like keeping the spotlight now on the team and the person. Teresa, you are saying facilitation can enhance a situation. The use of value-added statements, we're going to come back to that. I like to call those magical moments. And the use of different types of questioning that fit a situation. It could be to clarify or organize thoughts for a person or a team, or it could be a power question where it's shifting the thinking and the behavior. So a summarizing or organizational question might be, what will be your first step? A power question might be, how well did that technique work? And I can tell you that continues to resonate with how much power lies behind that question. It's not just focused on the technique and the strategy, it's shifting gears into how well did that technique work? Like, did it have the impact of that desired goal or outcome, if you will? We talked about paraphrasing, and we're going to come back to strength-based statements here in a little bit. Let's pause and reflect again. And it's important to identify, right? We've had those meetings or collaborations, or at least I'll say for myself, that have gone awry. And then we've had those meetings, interactions, collaborations that were very successful. And it's really important to identify some of those facilitation techniques and or coaching techniques used to create that dynamic. So let's just take a few minutes and identify some of those. Great. Here's my little story about value-added statements being magical. I had a few people, staff, throughout the year this time, say things like, this is a waste of my time. I have way more important things to do. Or, that is great and all, after we were watching a demonstration video of certain instructional practice and the response of the kids. And that's great and all, but my kids won't be able to do that. I had to take a deep breath, make sure I wasn't going to react, stay present, think about what's being said, that's not being said, and understand usually with a negative response like that, what's lying underneath is some type of fear, right? A fear that I might not be adequate, that if I change and try this initiative, for example, I won't be successful. So keeping with that empathy, using my value-added statements, I responded in this way to the time one. Time is of the essence for you. You want to know that this time is making you more prepared and better for when you return to the classroom with your kiddos. And for the demonstration video clip, I responded this way. You want to make sure that before you try this technique in your classroom, you have the know-all and know-how, so you'll be successful and your kids will be successful as what you witnessed in that video clip. You can feel the difference, right? People are elevated in that moment. The brain is free and clear to think. People jump into that dialogue and it turns to more of a resolution type of conversation. I call it magical because it is an opportunity with such statements to change the energy from negative to positive, from a problem to a commitment. Oh, I'm sorry, from a problem to a solution, from a complaint to a commitment. So in your upcoming weeks, as I'm sure you already have some meetings and collaborations scheduled, I invite you to insert some of these value-added statements. Or in your upcoming week, know that more than 80% of your time will be various interactions. I invite you to try a few value-added statements and watch the magic. See what happens. Final thoughts. During this shelter in place and COVID-19, more than ever do we as leaders need to tend to the various emotions, right? People are tired, including maybe ourselves. People are feeling isolated and lonely. People are feeling, particularly I notice with our staff at this time, are feeling anxious with the uncertainty and the unknowns. So more than ever, this is a time for us as leaders to really and insert those physiological needs and those social emotional needs for our staff and kids, and interweave that into our academics and learning. What I'm saying is that high impact leader that has that vision and has those supports, as well as that highly skilled facilitative leader that has those facilitation and coaching techniques, can transport the staff and students, can ensure that sense of belonging, that I see you, I hear you, I understand you, and can also pivot and still demand quality instruction and deep student learning. All right, just real fast. Here's some of the resources that I shared. The coaching stems and facilitation stems can be here. And I went ahead and added some protocols that you might find useful. I know it might sound cheesy, but I am truly a lifelong learner and I'm always looking to expand my professional network. So please invite continued conversation around leadership, education, systems, and organizational change. Please look to contact me or reach out through LinkedIn, Twitter, email, phone. Core Collaborative also likes to recognize our lifelong learning and give us credit for this professional opportunity. And they too have an expansive professional network. Again, this has been awesome. And until our paths crossed again, please stay safe and healthy. Thank you.